After 10 years of hard work in the apocalypse, due to an accident, I reincarnated myself 10 days before the zombie outbreak of the apocalypse unexpectedly. The portable pocket dimension is still there, and the water superpower has not disappeared in the next few days. I only did one thing. Stock up on supplies like crazy. There are still some supplies left in the pocket dimension, but they look like tatters to me from reincarnation. I emptied everything and started my stocking up plan. You can stock up on long-lasting items such as rice, flour, grains, and oils after the apocalypse starts. After all, your savings are limited. So I would first start by ordering food delivery apps. After ordering 20 portions of each of my favorite foods, I ran out of money. If you don't have money, you can't help it. They'll call my rich second-generation best friend to borrow money. In my previous life, we were dependent on each other for several years, which was very hard. In this life, I decided to lie down and take my best friend and her family with me, and we could have a poker night together. No matter what. It is still 10 years ahead of ordinary people. I will set a small goal. It is not too much to lie down for 10 years. Sister Lindsay Stewart, how much money do you have on hand? Yuan Datu. Don't disgust me. Just tell me how much you want. 10 million. Hiss, you are going to empty my pocket. What do you want so much money for? I'll pay you back next month. 5 million. No more. It's okay to just do it. Call Daddy, and I'll call you in the afternoon. Dad. Sarah Miller. You are so shameless. After hanging up the phone, I leisurely used my last 20 yuan to order a cup of iced coffee and waited for the 5 million to arrive. My best friend. Sending money is very refreshing. I drove the barbecue ribs tram and checked out my favorite foods one by one, including cakes, ice cream, fried noodles, fried rice, clay pot rice, malatang, Xinjiang fried rice noodles, and iced coffee. And I ordered 10 portions of everything. I also went to the hardware store to order 100 steel storage racks that were 2 meters high and 3 meters long. The task was so heavy that I had to go to 10 stores in total to get the goods in 5 days. The task during this period was to fill all the shelves with food. I was busy all afternoon and didn't get home until midnight in the next few days. I didn't want to attract too much attention, so I went to a place farther away to order food. There is no time and gravity in the portable pocket dimension, which is why I stock up unscrupulously. Whatever I put in, it is still steaming hot when I take it out every 10 days and a half. Fresh vegetables and fruits are also a necessity. I directly contacted Lao Wang, the vegetable wholesaler at Farmer's Market, and ordered 3 trucks of various vegetables and fruits. This was the first time I received such an order. Lao Wang was afraid that I wouldn't be able to sell it and would lose money, so he insisted on paying the price and delivering the goods on the last day of the countdown to the doomsday. I did not go home. I took advantage of the fact that no one was paying attention in the middle of the night and cleaned the goods and inventory of 3 supermarkets overnight. Each store took away more than half of the goods. I asked for why I didn't take them all away. It was because I didn't lose my conscience and didn't do the immoral thing of killing everyone. So I had to leave some for ordinary people. I asked for domestic water. I haven't stocked up on a bucket. I'm not a porter. I'm directly a water producer. The high-end water system superpower is no joke. It's just like water floods Gold Rockridge Mountain. I haven't studied how big the portable pocket dimension is, but I've used almost 1/3 of it so far. It's a pity that no one can live in it. Otherwise I would go to a furniture store to move furniture. Sarah Miller's life of lying down is about to begin. What's going on with my little expectations? I am not prepared to go deep into the old forests of Rockridge Mountain and become a savage. After all, animals and plants will mutate after the apocalypse. My current idea is to live in Lindsay Stewart's large single-family villa first. That area is a high-end gated community with not many people, and the gates are tightly guarded. Lindsay Stewart, are you home? Here. Why are you so busy these days? I still want to go shopping with you. Where are Uncle and Aunt? Are they at home? They're all here. After telling me, wait for me at home to find you, I started my barbecue ribs and rushed to Lindsay Stewart's house. The road was quiet, like the calm before the storm. I felt a little nervous. Will the zombie virus break out again if I live my life again? Lindsay Stewart was waiting for me at the door of the villa. I knew she was worried about me. Some time ago, I asked her to borrow 5 million yuan out of nowhere. After that, I was busy all day and didn't know what I was busy with. Today, I made another phone call without any clue. This is not something I could have done 10 years ago. But I didn't explain it. And Lindsay Stewart didn't ask. She is always like this no matter what I do. She unconditionally believes in me and supports me. The July wind was hot, and I sat on the balcony of the villa enjoying this moment of tranquility. I suddenly feel at peace in my heart. I have the ability and materials. I can live an ideal life of eating, sleeping, and eating with my best friend and her family in this precarious end of the world. This is enough. I slept until the next morning, when I was shaken awake by Lindsay Stewart. Yuan Datu. Get up quickly and stop sleeping. The weather has changed outside. There are biting madmen everywhere. We are going to be doomed. If the sky is falling and there are still tall people holding it up, why should you, 158, worry about it? I yawned and didn't want to get up. Is this how it feels to sleep on $1 million mattress? If you leave, be sure to pack up all the beds in Lindsay Stewart's house and take them with you. Perhaps I was too calm. But Lindsay Stewart caught me and asked, "Something is wrong. Did you know it a long time ago?" I said ahoo and shrugged my shoulders to be cool, but I was knocked down by Lindsay Stewart with a punch. Yuan Datu. You big idiot. You didn't even say a word to me. The result was that while the world outside was in chaos, Lindsay Stewart, and Lindsay Stewart's parents were in the basement of the villa playing poker night. As I was typing, Lindsay Stewart suddenly asked me, "You didn't tell your boyfriend, did you?" Boyfriend. The air was stagnant for 3 seconds. It seemed that I did have a boyfriend. Liam Peterson. I thought I had completely forgotten it. But when the dusty memory was uncovered, I still clearly recall the other person's name. It's hard to say how sentimental he is. But after all, on the first day of the apocalypse, he abandoned me to protect his little green plum. Later, we met him by chance a few times, and it was unpleasant because he was afraid that I would hurt his good sister, seeing that I didn't say anything. Lindsay Stewart thought I had and started giving me another ideological lesson. I don't like his appearance. He keeps bitching about girls all day long. And there is an ambiguous neighbor sister who interferes. Don't you have to give a scumbag a wife? I know. Aunt. Please don't read it. I didn't tell him. From now on, the 4 of us will depend on each other and spend the rest of our lives together. My uncle and aunt smiled. They have always taken good care of me, provided for my life, and sent me to study. In my heart, they are my parents, who are not related by blood. At present, the water and electricity in the gated community are still running normally. I went out at noon and cleaned up all the zombies within a kilometer radius of the villa. At least it can be quiet for a while. In the previous life, none of Lindsay Stewart's family had awakened the superpower. But after the reincarnation, Lindsay Stewart had a high fever that night when I was stocking up. I completely ignored medicine because my skin was thick, and there was no use for medicine in my previous life. The consequences of a fever can be good or bad. If you survive it, you will become a superpower. If you cannot survive it, you will become a zombie. Lindsay Stewart's body temperature soared to 40 C at one point. I was worried that she would burn out her already inoperable brain, so I decided to go to a nearby pharmacy to get some antipyretics. Mrs. Stewart, don't worry. You and Mr. Stewart just stay at home and don't open the door, no matter what the noise is. I'll go outside to find some fever-reducing medicine. After telling me, I rushed out quickly. And the old couple couldn't stop me even if they wanted to. I remember there was a clinic outside the gated community, which had quite a complete range of medicines. After I got the medicine, because every household in the gated community looked the same, I was born to be a roadie and couldn't find my way back. I was so anxious that I scurried around like a headless fly. Xiaoyi, I finally found you. Who are you? Get out of the way. I was in a panic. and I didn't feel good about this man who suddenly appeared in the way. Are you still angry with me? I can explain. Damn you. Where did this stinky man come from? Sister Yuan. It's all my fault that I was sick. My brother has been taking care of me, and I didn't have time to look for you. A slight surprise flashed in my eyes. This was probably the cheap boyfriend. What a shame. I just want to find a way out. Why do I have to watch them perform some bloody drama about brother-sister love? It doesn't matter. We broke up. Goodbye. I didn't understand why they came here. But it had nothing to do with me. I wandered around the neighborhood a few times and finally found the way. Antipyretics are a good thing. Almost an hour after taking them, Lindsay Stewart's body temperature was no longer alarmingly high and remained below 38°C. Uncle and Aunt breathed a sigh of relief, but they were a little unable to hold on because they were old. So I sent them all to rest. Leaving Lindsay Stewart alone, the house leaked. And it rained all night. I met my unlucky ex-boyfriend in front of me and heard the urgent doorbell ringing in the back. Is Lindsay Stewart at home? Open the door. Is Xiaoyi here with you? Afraid of attracting cannibal zombies. Liam Peterson kept his voice low. I wasn't prepared to talk to him. He would leave naturally if he couldn't stay outside any longer. Unlucky. What a bullshit boyfriend. I haven't been in love in 10 years. And I won't bear the debt I owed 10 years ago. 10 years from now. I angrily took out a bowl of spicy chili con carne plus a huge glass of ice-cold lemonade. Put on my headphones and started watching TV shows while eating. The hot chili con carne is anti-human. It made me burst into tears. Lindsay Stewart had just woken up, seeing me looking like a ghost. She insisted on standing up to show that she could still do it and that she didn't need to mourn so early. I'm not. Before I could finish my words, I heard Liam Peterson's miserable scream outside. Yang, Sarah Miller, you are so cruel. Lindsay Stewart. What is Liam Peterson going crazy about? I opened the door inexplicably and saw Liam Peterson holding the unconscious Emily Foster outside the door. Not far away were all the zombies watching eagerly, but due to the obstruction of the iron gate, they could only crowd outside and drool. Harmful. It's my fault. I was in a hurry and forgot to lock the iron door when I came back. Otherwise, Liam Peterson wouldn't blatantly howl at the door for a long time, looking at my red and swollen eye circles and nose. Liam Peterson was strangely silent. In his eyes, I have always been strong, but he never thought that I would cry like this. What a weird expression he has. Don't you think I'm jealous? Stop it now. I took out the leftover fever-reducing medicine that Lindsay Stewart had taken and asked Liam Peterson to give it to her. Emily Foster's symptom was a high fever before superpower awakened. And she took medicine. Whether she could survive was up to her. Then I took out my big rolling pin and poured out all the grievances in my heart on the innocent zombie. 3 times 5 divided by 2 is a perfect solution. Sure enough, girls can't hold it in when they feel sick. And after a fight, they felt much better. I didn't let Liam Peterson in. Not because I hated him for abandoning me before, but more because I had no feelings for him and didn't want to have anything to do with him in the future. Lindsay Stewart awakened the gold superpower, and the direction of development is large tanks and humanoid shields. I focus on DPS, and she focuses on defense. We go hunting together every day, and our cooperation is getting better and better. Everyday life becomes very simple. Eat, sleep, and fight zombies. The mood is relaxed. The whole person is full of vitality from the inside out, and the complexion and figure are improved. When I went out today, I met a group of National Guards on the road. A crowd followed behind. We were going to the gated community, worried about our uncles and aunts at home. Lindsay Stewart and I changed our plans temporarily and followed the team into the gated community, listening to the chatter of the crowd. I learned that the officer leading the team was named Caleb Hawthorne. He was currently the youngest major in the team, only 26 years old. I crossed my fingers. And it seemed like I was only 24 this year. This Shwe major's methods are resolute and very efficient. They did not disturb the Aboriginal people in the gated community. They just asked the soldiers to come and conduct a brief investigation and then allocate houses to the people one by one. Gated Community Survivor Mountain View Base was officially established. The establishment of Mountain View Base is a good thing for me. At least when Lindsay Stewart and I go out to play zombie, we no longer have to worry about the safety of my uncle and aunt in front of Caleb Hawthorne. I don't know why my 80-cent acting skills are ready to show off. My current character is a weak little trash who can't take care of himself and relies on his best friend to support himself. But it also brought about sequelae, that is, when doing tasks in Mountain View Base. No one took me with them, I could only use my trump card. My pocket dimension can equal a big truck. Major Shwe, take her with you. This way. We don't have to drive a big truck. It's much safer for the small team to go into battle lightly. Okay. Caleb Hawthorne agreed with a frown. Yeah, I jumped up and down with the small bag on my back to keep up with the team. There was no need to worry about transporting goods. So we drove a minivan, and everyone sat in it casually. Lindsay Stewart was sitting at the very back of the car. She was next to me on the left, and Caleb Hawthorne was reserved on the right. He was sitting on the ground with his back straight. About a punch's distance from me, the road conditions were not good along the way, and I accidentally jumped on him several times. Shwe Major had no expression on his face and only helped me slightly when I couldn't sit still. I can feel the hard muscles of his arms through my clothes, and he can hold me steady with one hand. The carriage was closed, and there were all kinds of messy and unpleasant smells inside, which made me feel uncomfortable. Sneaking closer to Caleb Hawthorne, he has a faint scent of laundry detergent, which smells very good, but I didn't dare to get too close. Shwe Major could be called Liu Xiaohui of the new era. He was calm and relaxed. If I got too close, he would be ruthlessly pushed away. I was a little discouraged. He seemed not interested in me. After getting out of the car, I felt a little depressed, so I crawled into Lindsay Stewart's arms for comfort, which brought out the delicate little white flower's temperament to its fullest. As mobile truck. My task along the way was to put the supplies they found into the pocket dimension. I also arranged for a soldier to write down all the supplies I put there. Lindsay Stewart was the main force at the front of the team, and I was the protected one, placed in the middle of the team. If nothing happens, I will chat with the soldier on the side. Do you have a partner at the Major? No. I've never heard of him. You, Major, are so good and handsome, how could you not have a partner? I expressed my doubts. The main reason is that there are no girls in our army. We train all day and have no time to fall in love. What if your Major has an online date? No way. What are Major Shwe's usual hobbies? What does he like to eat? What type of girls does he like? Brother Bing and I were chatting happily, but suddenly, the other party stopped talking. What's wrong with you? Why don't you speak? Not knowing what was going on, I looked back and met Caleb Hawthorne's eyes. What is it like for Bagua to meet the true master? All the things I didn't know how to talk about were heard. I completely quieted down and acted as a ruthless storage machine dutifully. Caleb Hawthorne is a wind superpower. He is an expert in using wind blades. The mission of harvesting zombies and collecting supplies along the way went very smoothly. After that, I followed him on many missions, but I just watched Caleb Hawthorne's back from a distance, and my relationship made no progress. I don't think Caleb Hawthorne is interested in me. I was a little depressed. And Lindsay Stewart didn't know how to comfort me. She was a novice than me, but human beings are destined to be incompatible with each other's joys and sorrows. I sighed while I was there, but Lindsay Stewart thought I was noisy and took the opportunity to go out on a date. What date are you dating? Who are you dating? I was shocked at how much I missed while hiding in the middle of the line working as a courier. Lindsay Stewart blushed and told me. That sergeant is very fair-skinned but very powerful. He stands in front of me in every mission. Ethan White is the pretty boy sergeant. When I look at him, his eyes are not eyes or nose. But Lindsay Stewart likes him very much. I can only tell Lindsay Stewart. If he bullies you in the future, you tell me and I will beat him until you can't even recognize him. Not noticing Caleb Hawthorne passing by, he chuckled softly. Who do you want to beat with your little body? Mom. He looks so good when he smiles. I was a little stunned, and when I realized it, I quickly covered my face and ran away. There is no way the CPU is overloaded. so I can only run away and calm down for a while. The construction of Mountain View Base is nearing completion. As the central area, the gated community has gradually attracted some high-ranking leaders to move in. Another recent resident is Jade Chin, a tall female lieutenant with a high ponytail like a sonorous rose. And her beauty has prickly thorns when there are no team missions. I secretly go out and fight zombies every day. I don't know why. But I still don't want Caleb Hawthorne to find out that I have incredible combat prowess. Jade Chin is passionate, generous, and outgoing. And her superpower is also a fire type. It has only been a few days since he joined the team, and he has already become one with the people around him. She also made no secret of her admiration for Caleb Hawthorne. When Caleb Hawthorne was around, people would often make jokes about them. I would listen quietly and then secretly glance at Caleb Hawthorne's expression. He didn't stop those outrageous jokes, and his expression was very gentle. It turns out that what he likes is a beauty like Jade Chin with a cheerful and sunny personality, not a fragile little white flower. Is it too late to change your style now? Me, hiding in the corner, biting my handkerchief with tears in my eyes. The weekly team outing has begun again. This time, the mission is to go hunting. There are many mutant animals in Rockridge Mountain. This time, the hunting target is a mutant wild boar. It has rough skin and thick flesh like a small moving Rockridge Mountain. It is huge and has high-speed sensitivity. Lindsay Stewart jumped wildly in front of the mutated wild boar, attracting hatred. Her small body was no taller than a pig's hooves, which made me tremble with fear. I in the later stage, Lindsay Stewart's physical strength was severely exhausted, and the mutated wild boar could hardly move, standing there panting wildly. Several wounds on its body were bone deep, especially one on its neck. I sneaked up behind Lindsay Stewart and held a condensed water blade in my hand. As long as I aimed at the neck and slashed, I could take the pig's head from a few meters away, but the mutant boar's endurance was a little better than I thought. It pushed toward Lindsay Stewart with all its strength, and the speed was extremely fast. Lindsay Stewart couldn't dodge at her current speed. How dare you, you evil beast. I'll pretend a little bit. But luckily I had the foresight to come here to pick up my sister Lindsay Stewart. Otherwise I would have been hit with a concussion today. I jumped over and picked up Lindsay Stewart. I hit the wild boar with a wave of water and threw it aside. Lin, it's all my fault that I didn't protect you. Ethan White was the first to rush up. He was already born white, but this incident scared him so much that his lips were all pale, and he looked weak. I'm fine, Sue. Lin Aksu. I can't stand it. After putting Lindsay Stewart into Ethan White's arms, I ran away. The friends in the team saw that Lindsay Stewart was indeed not injured, but just a little exhausted, so they stopped disturbing the young couple and switched to my side. Good guy, Sarah Miller. You are hiding so much. Low key. I rubbed oil on the soles of my feet and found an opportunity to escape quickly. It's a bit of a pity that half of the vest has fallen off. This mission was very fruitful, and everyone suggested having a barbecue party in the evening to relax. I also have a bunch of mutated animals in my pocket dimension, but I haven't taken them out to eat because they were too troublesome to deal with. So I have no interest in this barbecue party. When I got there, I have to see Caleb Hawthorne and Jade Chin, both talented and beautiful. I don't like self-abuse, so why bother to make myself unhappy? Lindsay Stewart was not at home at night. Ever since she entered into a relationship with the pretty boy, she often stayed up late at night, and her uncle and aunt didn't care. Aw, this damn world where I'm the only single person. Sad. I was going to drink wheat juice alone to the moon, and took out a few skewers of barbecue to nibble on. I usually don't like to drink. I always feel a bit tipsy when I drink beer. Why don't I mix it with some liquor? I also add some red wine since I have a lot of stock anyway. It tasted a little bitter, so I added some orange juice. After all, I got myself drunk successfully. Drunk people don't realize they are drunk. Like me, I was top-heavy when walking, but I managed to walk smoothly to the square where the party was being held, took Caleb Hawthorne's hand, and confessed to him. Caleb Hawthorne, do you know that I like you? If I were sober, I would just die right now and dig into the cracks in the ground. But it's a pity that I'm not sober. Not only did I drag Caleb Hawthorne to confess my love in public, but I also took advantage of him. I can die under the peonies. And I can be charming even if I am a ghost. I have made a profit. I really can't remember what happened next. I only recall the bright and dark campfire, the crackling of wood, and Caleb Hawthorne's bright red and soft lips. My head hurts. I have a reasonable suspicion that Caleb Hawthorne gave me a beating last night, which is why my head hurts so much. Don't drink anymore in the future. The quality of the wine is too bad. You'll go crazy after drinking it. Even 3 grown men can't hold you back. Lindsay Stewart brought me a glass of water. I was thirsty, so I finished the large glass of water in a few gulps. What did I do last night? I felt a little guilty when I asked, but at least I clearly remember the scene where I confessed my love to Caleb Hawthorne, but I forgot the most important thing, which is whether Caleb Hawthorne agreed. You turned the party into a water-splashing festival, now a water dragon, and now a fountain. This is not important, but the most important thing about Lindsay Stewart is not to talk about it. I am so anxious that I scratch the wall, seeing me like this. Lindsay Stewart burst out laughing. Seeing that you are anxious, just ask Major Shui in person. Why do I have the nerve to ask? I buried my head in the pillow, feeling that the temperature on my face was going to set the pillow on fire. What's the point? Maybe Major Shui likes you too. How is that possible? How is it impossible? Sarah Miller, please be more confident. That's what I said. But I forced myself to kiss Caleb Hawthorne last night, so he probably doesn't want to see me today. I covered myself with the pillow in frustration and didn't want to get up. I groaned and rolled crazily on the bed, not noticing the sudden silence in the air, tired. I opened the pillow and breathed fresh air. I almost choked when I breathed out. You. Why are you here? Caleb Hawthorne stood upright in front of my bed. He was a little uncomfortable. So he stood upright today. I'm on my way. Come in and have a look. Oh. My brain was shutting down, and I was staring blankly at Caleb Hawthorne in a chicken coop. He suddenly smiled, stretched out his hand to help me comb my messy hair, and said warmly, I have something to do in the morning. Have a good rest. I will come back to you in the afternoon. He came to see me this afternoon. The sudden happiness knocked me out again. The old trees are blooming, and the dead trees are blooming, and I, Sarah Miller, have today. Lindsay Stewart stopped teasing me and told me everything that happened last night. I didn't expect that Caleb Hawthorne would agree to be my boyfriend in public. Doesn't he like sonorous roses like Jade Chin? I once asked Caleb Hawthorne this question, and he said that he and Jade Chin grew up together in a military compound and just treated her as a younger sister. Oh, she's just your sister. My sister says purple is very charming. Caleb Hawthorne looked at me helplessly. Be good. Whatever you want to eat tonight, I'll cook it for you. Spicy chicken. Good. I thought Caleb Hawthorne should be the kind of gentleman, the type who keeps his fingers crossed, but I didn't expect that he would turn out to be a husband who is proficient in washing and cooking. I love this contrasting charm even more. All in all, the process was a bit tortuous, but the result was as expected. Since that time, Jade Chin has been facing me with that hesitant expression. I understand this. It must be the first time for a proud girl like her to encounter a situation where the person of her dreams is cut off by someone who can't compare with her when we go on a mission together again. Everyone is wise enough to stop joking around. It's just that the truck compartment for 3 people was a bit crowded, and I could only sit in Caleb Hawthorne's arms. Don't move around. Caleb Hawthorne hugged me. His chest was burning in the dim car. It doesn't matter. I just can't get in. I was very happy, but my advice is never to flirt with a 26-year-old virgin. Caleb Hawthorne took advantage of the bumpy car to nudge me, then leaned close to my ear and said in a hoarse voice, You're not going in. Huh. Everyone saw me dancing the water dragon before and thought that my water superpower was more of a support type. However, they still habitually protected me and the team during this mission, but... Leak. Big leak. Special leak. I condensed the water droplets into marbles and fired the high-speed water bullets like bullets. Hitting the head with one shot, it's not like he hit every 100 shots. But he managed to hit 9 out of 10 shots. Actions explained the so-called rain of bullets. Sister-in-law. You are a sharpshooter. Sister-in-law. I wanted to ask you last time if you can drink this water. What nonsense are you asking? Brat. I'll put a big hole in your throat. I watched everyone laughing quietly, lost myself in the shouts of sister-in-law, performed a calling for wind and rain, and brought out a large bucket of iced sour plum soup for everyone to drink. There was a person in the team who had an ice-type mutant superpower. I exchanged water with him for a lot of ice cubes, both large and small. I would drink some cold drinks at home if I had nothing to do. Before we knew it, it was August, and the weather was very hot. In the hot summer, you can enjoy a refreshing shower and drink ice-cold sour plum soup. This is probably the happiest moment since the apocalypse. Jae-chin is a valiant and heroic woman. To be honest, I can't dislike her. When I poured the sour plum soup, she readily accepted it. At first, I thought you were the kind of daughter who only clings to men. I looked at you through a colored filter. I apologize to you. Jae-chin drank a glass of sour plum soup with me. At the moment of doomsday, even an ordinary cup of sour plum soup seems very precious. Everyone hunted a bunch of mutated animals and gave them to me. The meat of mutated animals is delicious. It is fat but not greasy and lean but not bad. The meat is also full of light energy. Superpower people have many benefits from eating it. Ordinary people can also eat in moderation. So I simply gathered a group of people I knew together to have a barbecue. Liam Peterson and Little Green Tea have to be invited. They are not big eaters. So the waiter and waitress are free. Then let Ethan White be responsible for grilling the skewers. And the others will be responsible for eating. Which is perfect coordination. The imagination is beautiful. But the reality is that the Little Green Tea is so cute that it doesn't want to work but just wants to eat. Sister Lindsay Stewart turned her elbows outward and asked me, the host, to grill everyone. I angrily grilled the meat skewers and sprinkled chili powder wildly. Liam Peterson finished processing the pile of animal meat and was ready to come over to help me. I'll do it. Caleb Hawthorne squeezed Liam Peterson away calmly and leaned next to me elegantly to grill the skewers. Okay, pink bubbles of happiness popped up in my eyes. A handsome person, even if he is grilling skewers, is as elegant as playing the piano. The atmosphere is very good, although the Little Green Tea is useless. It still dances and sings a little song to cheer up. I accidentally overate my stomach and felt a little uncomfortable. I lay on the recliner and groaned. Does it feel uncomfortable? I took Caleb Hawthorne's hand. The joints were long and slender, but they were all calloused, which made me feel a little distressed. I'll rub it for you. Caleb Hawthorne massaged my belly gently, and my uncomfortable belly felt much better. It's past midnight, and the friends are walking and lying down. At the moment, there are only 2 of us on the balcony. The atmosphere was a bit ambiguous. Caleb Hawthorne's hands were so hot that I was a little ready to move. I lowered my head and rubbed my face against his other palm. Brother Shwe, do you want to rub it tonight? Caleb Hawthorne's eyes darkened slightly, and he asked me in a low voice, do you want to? I think about it. He didn't say another word and just carried me away. Caleb Hawthorne's house is just behind the villa. And he jumped from the balcony on the top floor of the villa with me in his arms. The cool evening breeze passed through my hair, and I seemed to be drunk. The light turned into light spots and rushed toward me. Dizzy. I didn't get up until noon. Caleb Hawthorne was not there, but he left a small note. Remember to eat when you get up. I'll be back at noon. I continued to lie down and sleep sweetly and painfully. Even a superpower's body couldn't withstand such a torment. In order not to attract attention and because there is no shortage of food, many of the food delivery apps' foods in Pocket Dimension are not eaten. My uncles and aunts always thought that the food outside was unhealthy and unhygienic. So they would make delicious food for me in different ways every day. Today is a rare opportunity. Grilled cold noodles, fried chicken cutlet, teppanyaki, iced coffee, octopus meatballs are all on offer. Unknowingly, It has been 3 months since reincarnation. The days of struggling before reincarnation seem to have been a thing of the last century. The reason for my reincarnation was not that I died in the future but that my reincarnation was in the past. I just had itchy hands and wanted to pet a cat. And I provoked a vengeful, high-level mutated ocelot, which chased me up Rockridge Mountain. In the end, I managed to get rid of this petty attitude by hiding in a hidden Rockridge Mountain cave. But unexpectedly, I fell asleep and was reincarnated in the morning. Maybe this is fate. God wants me to reincarnate. And the toilet in my house is the door to reincarnation. I am very satisfied with my current life. After eating guyu, I lie down and watch dramas. After the Mountain View base was built, the first thing to do was to repair the circuit. Thanks to the master electricians, I can now enjoy a colorful entertainment life. Caleb Hawthorne told me at noon that he might have to go out for a few days. A small team went hunting in Rockridge Mountain and has not returned for 3 days. He had to take people to find people in Rockridge Mountain. I want to go too. Caleb Hawthorne is very strong, but I still don't trust him. Deep in the ancient forests of Rockridge Mountain, there are many mutated animals and plants. I made many mistakes in Rockridge Mountain, although I was able to escape the danger in the end. I had a few brushes with death. Caleb Hawthorne naturally disagreed, but he couldn't get over it. Brother, without my brother to warm my bed at night, I can't sleep all night long. I toss and turn, and I can't sleep well. Please, brother, please take me there. I will not run around and follow orders. The main reason is probably that I don't want to listen to my nonsense anymore. The team set off in the afternoon, and I had nothing to bring with me here. The team members naturally piled up everything they brought and then looked at me expectantly. Thank you for your hard work, sister-in-law. No hard work. No hard work. Just a little effort. Who can resist being called sister-in-law enthusiastically by a group of handsome guys? I smiled from ear to ear, and Caleb Hawthorne squeezed my hand at the side. Are you so happy? I quickly smoothed over the jealous man and said, it doesn't matter whether I'm happy or not. The main thing is that I like others to call me sister-in-law. We are recognized as a legal couple. The road conditions in Rockridge Mountain are dangerous and complicated, but fortunately, marks left by the missing team have been discovered one after another. We followed the guidance of the marks and continued walking into Rockridge Mountain. After the sun set on Rockridge Mountain, Caleb Hawthorne commanded the team to stay in place. Rockridge Mountain at night is many times more dangerous than during the day, and not even a 20-person superpower team dared to break through. The team members quickly set up a big tent and thoughtfully set up a small tent for us next to it. It is best not to light fires at night in Rockridge Mountain. The light of fire can easily attract some fierce mutant animals. There was no hot meal, so I gave each of the team members a hamburger as a snack. And I successfully gained a lot of sister-in-lawing Ming. Caleb Hawthorne directed the team members to arrange protective measures around the area and arranged for people to take turns on duty at night while he was busy. I leisurely got into the tent and simply decorated it. It was a cool October night in Rockridge Mountain. I laid out a blanket to isolate the moisture on the ground, then laid out 2 single mattresses, took out the quilt for the night, and we were done for dinner. We just had clay pot rice and fried chicken. When you go out, there is no place where you can't feel the pain in your stomach. It was dark all around at night, so I wasn't afraid. But I pretended to be scared and crawled into Caleb Hawthorne's arms. His arms are warm and always make me want to do something. Be good. Not tonight. I squirmed restlessly and only calmed down after being spanked. There is a villain in my heart who is incompetently furious. Sarah Miller. Why are you so cowardly? I was ruthlessly ignored. The rescue mission took a turn for the better a week later. We had climbed over several Rockridge Mountain heads that day. If it hadn't been for my steady supply of supplies, the team would have given up on this mission. I was wandering around during lunch and found a group of people tied up and hung like rice dumplings. I hurriedly informed Caleb Hawthorne. This group of people looked pale and had their eyes closed. They didn't know whether they were dead or alive, fortunately. This mutated vine that became a spirit sucked too much human blood and fell into a deep sleep to digest energy. To ensure the freshness of the food. The mutated vines are self-taught and inject nutrient solution into these people's bodies every day to maintain basic survival. Therefore, The team members were extremely weak because they had not eaten for too long. And there was no fear for their lives. I'm very interested in the smart mutant vine that seems to have a brain. But it's too dangerous. And Caleb Hawthorne won't let me get close. I still had a few pounds on my body. But Caleb Hawthorne wouldn't let me. So I had to take a look. The roots of the vines were intricate and winding. I walked all the way to find the roots of the vines. When I suddenly looked up, I realized that this was the Rockridge Mountain cave where I had slept in my previous life. I suddenly felt very panicked. As if there was a thread in the dark that brought me back to the starting point of everything. I am very satisfied with my life now and don't want to go back 10 years from now. I cautiously stayed away from the Rockridge Mountain cave. But the vine that had been pretending to be dead suddenly exerted its force and whipped me hard. I end this way. I watched myself draw a beautiful parabola and was eventually thrown into the hole. Little girl, welcome back. The speaker was an old man with a white beard who claimed to be the defender of the Hunyuan Shenxian Piaomiao immortal in the highest heaven. The formation I defended was naturally a time travel formation that allowed me to travel back to 10 years ago. The formation has gone through countless years, and many defenders have changed in the process. Now, I am also retiring. I originally opened the formation to find the reason for the changes in the world. I have been searching for several months. But there is no reason. It is probably the self-regulation of the planet's consciousness. As human beings develop, they are also heading for destruction. After this formation is activated, it will not only be your time that will be traced back but the time of the entire world. It stands to reason that everyone will go back in time. But I don't know why everything you have is preserved. It's strange. It turns out that I am not the only one who is reincarnation. But the whole world is reincarnation. It's just that I'm the only lucky one. I feel relieved a lot. After reincarnation, I have been worried that the beauty in front of me is an illusion. Now, I no longer have to worry about sleeping until liberation. But what does any of this have to do with me? I looked at the old man with a white beard in front of me defensively. He probably knew about my pocket dimension and planned to take it away. I quietly covered my left wrist. No one knew that the pocket dimension was hidden in my wrist. It was originally an ordinary wooden bracelet that had been worn by my grandma for more than 10 years. And it was shiny all over. My grandma passed away when I was very young. And my parents left early. Only this bracelet stayed with me as I grew up as a reminder of my loved ones. It was also after the apocalypse that my blood was accidentally stained. So I turned on the portable pocket dimension. The bracelet was also hidden on my wrist, leaving only a faint wood grain on it.as if he had read through my thoughts. The old man smiled and shook his head. My deadline is coming, but I just can't worry about this world. The consciousness of the planet is ignorant and unreasonable, and its unconscious adjustments are likely to accelerate its destruction. So, I am still confused. I think you are destined to be a good person, and your husband is also upright. I hope that you two can raise it well. You don't need to bother to educate it. Just lead it to appreciate everything in the world, and it will make its judgment. Who is it? Before I could ask anything, the old man floated away. This master is always so unpredictable, so I had no choice but to go back the way I came. Of course. This damn vine whipped me and it hurt. So I stepped on it hard on the way back. The vine that was arrogant and domineering at the beginning is now as docile as a puppy. It seems that it is afraid that I will step on it and it will upset me. So it whipped itself a few more times. The rescue operation was completed. After returning, I became lazier and lazier. I didn't want to move all day long, and my appetite increased day by day. Fortunately, I haven't gained much weight. Caleb Hawthorne often pinches my thin waist and wonders, where has all the food I eat all day gone? It was another full day of eating and drinking, and after some passionate exercise in the evening, I slept soundly. I had a hazy dream. In the dream, I kept rising and flew into the universe. Looking down at the blue and green planet, the planet changed a lot after the apocalypse. And it was completely different from the satellite images I saw in news reports last time. I end that photo. The planet called Blue Star was bald in several parts, and the sea was also very gray, like a star that was about to be extinguished, suddenly. A point of light flew out of the planet in front of me and crashed towards me enthusiastically, before I was stunned by the dazzling light. I heard my grandma's childish voice calling me Mom after waking up. I rummaged through the cabinets in Pocket Dimension to find a pregnancy test stick. Every time Caleb Hawthorne and I made love, we had no choice but to let nature take its course. There has been no movement for several months. Wasn't last night a preview of winning the prize? The two conspicuous bars made me a little overwhelmed, although I had been prepared for it. I was still a little nervous when the new life came. I sat on the sofa in the evening, waiting for Caleb Hawthorne to come back. He was very busy during this time. There are several nearby Mountain View bases that have just suffered from the zombie wave and are facing post-disaster reconstruction and mergers. The Mountain View base, where I am located, is a temporary resettlement site for disaster victims. Baby, are you up so late waiting for your husband to come home? The longer they spend together, the more childish and clingy Caleb Hawthorne becomes. Outside, he is the decisive leader of Mountain View Base. But at home, he is a little puppy that he hugs and holds high. He pulled me into his arms and kissed me. The unshaved stubble on his face made me itch, after stopping the other party from making any further moves. Xue Xiaowu looked at me a little aggrievedly. I took out the pregnancy test stick from this morning from the Pocket Dimension and showed it to him. There were 2 lines. Caleb Hawthorne, who has always been calm and collected in situations, was a little excited. He hugged me tightly and happily whispered in my ear, "I'm going to be a dad." The news spread throughout Mountain View Base the next day, and Lindsay Stewart came to see me early. She is not a laid-back character. She and Ethan White have been planning to travel around the world for a long time, but when she heard that I was pregnant, she decided to wait until I gave birth to the baby before going out. I am the godmother of the child, and cultivating a relationship starts with the child in the belly. My uncle and aunt came to see me. They were both going strong and running a re-employment training college for the elderly at Mountain View Base. The school is quite far from the gated community, and they lived in the school dormitory some time ago. This time, to take care of me, the old couple moved back to IN the next few days. There was an endless stream of people visiting me at my door, afraid of tiring me out. Caleb Hawthorne directly ordered no more visitors so I could continue to lie down when I was pregnant. My appetite became better. My food tasted better, and my body became stronger without gaining weight, which made Lindsay Stewart very envious. When I ate, she couldn't help but eat too, and as a result, she gained 8 pounds in a month. I'm fat again. I must resist the temptation today. You didn't have a good appetite before. Are you pregnant too? I quickly took out another pregnancy test stick and handed it to Lindsay Stewart, and then the two of us stared blankly at the still conspicuous 2 lines. Is pregnancy gas contagious? In short, Ethan White forcefully canceled his plans to travel around the world for the next 5 years and came to my house every day to pick up his little wife. Why didn't you come to my house to pick me up? Because my home has a lot of delicious food. Those people can't come to visit me, knowing that I love to eat. They asked people to deliver all kinds of delicious food to my home. Of course, I didn't just eat food given by strangers. Caleb Hawthorne specially arranged a taster for me to test the poison for me. The food tasters are on duty in turns, and the army is competing for this duty spot every day. There are a few thorns in the fight because of this. When I was 5 months pregnant, my belly had begun to swell slightly, but my belly was smaller than that of Lindsay Stewart. Caleb Hawthorne rubs his belly every night and worries, "Kid, where did all the food your mother ate go? Not one of them has gained any weight." The night I was about to give birth, I had another dream, and my perspective was still overlooking the beautiful blue and green planet in the universe. Mom, I finally want to meet you. The birth process went surprisingly smoothly, with almost no pain, and the fear I had about the final birth completely disappeared. It's a little boy. I named him Xue Xingran, a rising star, perhaps due to my influence. Lindsay Stewart's delivery process went very smoothly, and she gave birth to a cute little cotton-padded baby named Wu Eileen. The meaning of the name is simple and clear. Later, I found out that it was because Xingxing liked this sister otherwise. Eileen would have weighed 10 pounds and 60 ounces when she was born. So you really can't eat too much during pregnancy. I probably already understood what the old man with the white beard was talking about. But I didn't care. In any case, this was the baby I gave birth to after 10 months of pregnancy. And it was a gift from God. The stars are growing up day by day. And the world is getting better and better. Like me, he loves this planet full of beauty and hope.